And I think Jed's going to be, as we've heard from Jim Bowden and others, all in to get this thing where he wants it. Cubs win 5-4. And the Brewers split a double dip. Mm-hmm. The Reds split a double dip. And the Cardinals, who got shut out Wednesday, Thursday by the Cubs, haven't scored again since Saturday. Got shut out again. 2 straight days by the Pirates. 1-0 and 5-0. They're 5 back. The Brewers are now 3 back. And here come the Cubbies.
Well, here's what I need you to do. Sending a missive to Chip Carey. Where's your bats, St. Louis? Where's your offense? I think you should send them a little message to let them know the Cubs are coming.
Hey, Chip, it's Kap. Hey, what's up, brother? I found this bat here. Do you need one?
My God. I think that would be really funny. Get one up yourself, Cappy.
That's exactly what he'd tell me.
That's what he would say.
He would. But that Cardinal team, I mean, like I'm looking at these numbers. Like they're a decent ball club. They haven't scored since Saturday.
Yeah, well,
it's Thursday.
Yeah, like anything else, though, when we talk about the ebb and flow of the season, it's a long season. You're going to have ups and downs. Cubs went through that in June. And now here, July, you take on a Guardians team. And I say hapless or whatever the word I used, because even with the 3 solo shots that Imanaga gave up, you look at that Cubs lineup and someone's going to come through. And that's as I watch that game, I go, okay, if you're Imanaga, you're happy those are solo shots, Cap, as he tries to get himself back into the rhythm. You look at that and it looks a little ugly, right? 81 pitches, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. And it's like, that's not Imanaga-like. But here's the thing. With his 4 strikeouts, here's what you like about Imanaga. The way he commands the top of the zone, Cap. The home runs he surrendered was like middle. And so those are mistake pitches. And Imanaga's better than that. So you're lucky those are solo shots. It's like, okay, you shrug it off because you have in the lineup Tucker and Suzuki and Crow-Armstrong and Swanson hitting 5th again, even though he went 2 for 5. Bush, Kelly. All I know is that when I read a tweet from Pedro Martinez, who clearly has not watched the Cubs all season, he's keeping an eye on this series, and he tweeted, man, I didn't know the Cubs had that in them. He thought that after Bellinger, that the Cubs are going to fall off the table with Bellinger gone. Like, excuse me? He hadn't watched Cap. He hasn't watched them all year and has not realized that there's been unsung heroes all throughout the lineup. We talked yesterday about there's 3 catchers that have been able to come through for the Cubs, starting with Carson Kelly. Bush, there's no room in the inn for Bush with the Los Angeles Dodgers because Freeman's taking it over and is the guy. Bush comes through, and we talked about his numbers yesterday. And now he's an unsung hero. So, even Pedro Martinez has said, oh, my God, the Cubs are good. Well, no blank.
No blank is right. And, this is not a shot at Cody Bellinger. Yeah. It's just a fact. He wouldn't start on this team. He wouldn't. Tell me where he'd start. Would he start over Pete Crow? No. Would he start over Suzuki at DH? No. Would he start over Kyle Tucker? No. He wouldn't start ahead of Michael Bush. So if you just take numbers, and I know he's a good player, let me tell you something. Man, oh, man. This is a really good team, and now, they've kind of steadied themselves. They've won the series already over the Guardians. Now you try and get a sweep tonight. Yeah. You get, greedy. You want a sweep. And then the Cardinals come in. So as they go through this last, it's not quite 2 weeks, a little week and a half in advance of the All-Star break, they've got a chance, if they just take them one at a time, to put themselves in a position where Jed will literally push all his chips in.
A guy that should be an all-star came through in a big way for the Cubs yesterday.
Great stat. Drilled left center field. That one towards the gap. Off the wall. Cap's coming in to score. Tucker to third. Suzuki with a rocket off the wall. And the Cubs are on the board. It's 3-1. Suzuki back in. Bybee ready. Chopped up the middle. Right field can't get it. In to score is Shaw. Tucker on his heels. And Seiya Suzuki is knocked in 2. The Cubs have the lead 4-3.
Cap, that's the guy. That's the guy. And again, we talk about Tucker a lot and Pete Crow-Armstrong a lot and what Swanson is and who's not and how Bush is underrated. But Suzuki, man. the numbers are what they are. They are just solid. Even us hearing the audio, could you hear the crack of the bat, how crisp that sounded?
Suzuki back in, Bybee ready.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So he's right on top of it, man. Suzuki deserving to be an all-star, and to me, not talked about enough here.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. He leads MLB now in RBIs. And if you look around that diamond, again, I'm not the biggest Dansby Swanson guy offensively. He's a heck of a defensive player. He made a stop yesterday, didn't get the out, but I don't even know how he got the ball across the diamond. He's a great defensive shortstop.
Correct.
Matt Shaw, I think he's going to be a good player. I do. A year ago, we're all like, oh, this Pete Crow, he's fast, he's a good defender, but I don't know if he can hit. And now this year, he's an all-star. So I think that's the development track that Matt Shaw might be on. I'm not saying he's going to be Pete Crow, but he's going to be a really good player. They got to add a veteran third baseman now because I'm trying to win the World Series now. That's what they need.
And then Pete Crow coming through as well.
Bybee deals. And that one grounded to the left side. Roquio touching a big hop. He's got no play with the speed of Pete Crow-Armstrong. Run comes in. It's 3-2.
Cap, I think on the recap, that should have been the play of the game because it was amazing. How often, and I texted you this the other day, how often have you seen 3 pickoffs within 2 innings? When's the last time you saw Roquio, the shortstop for the Guardians, not so deep in the hole, but kind of in the hole, and says, no, I'm good. I'm not going to throw to first base. Pete Crow's too fast. Cap, in the major leagues, who again, you're a major leaguer. You see Pete Crow down the line and just busting it, respecting 90, and Roquio says, no, I'm not going to throw. That's something. When's the last time you've seen that?
Rare. Very rare.
Come on, man. That's a hell of a thing by Pete Crow, respecting 90, busting it out of the box, and Roquio says, yeah, I don't have the arm to get there.
And that is a tip of the cap to Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
He may be sniffling his way through interviews, but that guy gets a team to play hard, man. Give him a lot of credit that his team has responded. They play hard on the base paths from home to first, first to second, second to third, whatever the case may be. But as currently constituted, I do not believe if they made no moves, I don't believe they can win the World Series. I don't.
Right.
But that's why there's a trade deadline, and that's why you have prospects and ability to take on contracts. And I think Jed's going to be, as we've heard from Jim Bowden and others, all in to get this thing where he wants it, and then take a run in October, November to see if they can win a World Series. I watched the Dodgers come back last night.
All right.
Sean Burke handcuffed them all night. We'll get to it. But that team, it's star after star coming to the plate. The Cubs don't have that yet. They've got to add another bat. For me, that's
I was just going to ask you,
Eugenio Suarez.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what did you think their needs are? Like right now, should they add another bat or should they beef up the bullpen?
I would do both. Yes, to both. And I need a number 1/2 starter. The best available starter, I would like Aroldis Chapman coming out of the pen or somebody like that to be there with Palencia and Keller and guys like that at the back end. And then I want Eugenio Suarez. The Diamondbacks lost again yesterday. So if they do push their chips out and say, we're going to fold our cards here, that's the guy to go get right there.
Has there been any updates on Justin Steele?
He's done for the year. So,
he's done?
Yeah, he won't be back. So
Gotcha.
We'll see him next year. So that's where we're at. He's pretty active on social, great follow. And he was watching the White Sox game last night, tweeting about Kershaw.
Yeah, so he really lets you in on what Major League Baseball players do. They watch other games.
Yep.
So Steele, with him being out for the year, is giving you some insight on what major leaguers usually do. And they're just texting their friends and say, hey, did you see this play? You watch that game? Steele's right on it. He's almost like an analyst. He should be at Marquee. Does better than some of the guys I see at Marquee. I think he should be there in the studio.
Yeah,
Seriously.
It's funny you say that because I've said to players, what do you want to do when you're done? I don't know, maybe broadcast. Well, if you're injured, you should get in the studio and do some work or host a podcast. Do something to get used to it.
Got to get ready for the next for the next career.
Yeah.
So I get that. I'm going to give you a great compliment to the Chicago Cubs. We did not talk about this in the meeting because I want to hold this for on air. You know how I do that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a great compliment that someone gave the Chicago Cubs coming up next. And we'll take your phone calls. We see you on hold, 312-332-ESPN, 332-3776. The Cubs, they defeat the Guardians by the score of 5-4. If you were at the game, if you watched the game, let's get your thoughts about the Cubs as they win 2 in a row against the Guardians, looking for another one as they play on the Thursday night game of the week on FS1. It's just amazing. This is what it is, Cap. Turn the calendar, and people love the nostalgia, I think, of 2016 also, but also it's July. Put the Cubs on all the national platforms as much as possible this week. That's what's happening.
It is. And you know what? The vibe in the stadium, and I think Sahadev Sharma tweeted about this. Mm-hmm. It's always a great place to be at. It's always crowded. But when the team's no good, the vibe's okay. But when they're good, the vibe is off the charts, man.
All right, we will talk about that also. You hear from the fine manager of the Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell, all part of the mix.